Hey, we're live. I just want to be sure that you can see. I think I need to bring this board a bit closer. Just a minute. Ooh. Yes, be closer. Good afternoon from here. You're welcome, and it's such a pleasure as usual to always see you at my live session. My name is Dr. Ish, the founder of Brand Story School with Dr. Ish, and today we're going to be handling a very practical topic, a very practical issue or challenge that a lot. Oh, hi, Ogechi. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's good to see you. And please, could you tell the other students to come to class in the different chat rooms as well as the LinkedIn squad? Just let them know that we are live. Thank you. Yes, so today we're going to be handling a very practical issue, a very practical challenge that a lot of coaches and creators face. And this is just an offshoot of our recent public speaking classes, because I decided that one of the major issues, or I have noticed that one of the major issues many creators, coaches, and professionals have is selling their offers to their target audience. I've had people ask me, "Oh, Dr. Ish, I have so much to offer. I'm pretty intelligent. I am good at what I do, but I cannot communicate how good I am, and I'm unable to get clients and close deals." And this is the reason why we have to go into an extensive public speaking series. For the first classes we've had, if you've not watched it, please head over to the channel and take a look at the how to overcome the fear of public speaking, how to present confidently, your voice is your money. Those live classes, there's a lot to learn. I spoke about gestures, I spoke about body language, I spoke about presenting for interviews, I spoke about presenting for thesis and project defense. So consecutive weeks, we're also going to be handling different problem areas on public speaking. How to focus your eyes on your target audience, how to prepare, how to plan, how to speak confidently, and so many other things. Voice control, exactly, voice tonality, all these things we're going to discuss in consecutive classes. But today I want us to address how you can use public speaking as another means of income by knowing how to say the right thing in cold DMs, right? So this is perfect for creators, coaches, if you're just starting your online content, your online brand, and you're still figuring out how you're going to use your online profile to make legit money. So in this case, you're not going to need to rob a bank, you're not going to need to do anything fantastic. All you need is just your phone, your voice, and your strategy. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to learn today. I've broken them down into about 5 different sections that I'll take you step by step how you can start out, the first things you need to notice, the first things you need to do before you start jumping into the DMs of your client. So this is very, very important. You have your pen and your paper so that you can take down notes. And of course, I always remain available to answer your questions in between the class. I'd be happy to support you in any way that you feel maybe anything I'm saying is not clear to you. I'll definitely break it down. So I go again. Today's topic is how to make your first $1,000 using cold DMs. So the first question I'd like to ask you is, what's the highest amount you've ever made from your service? If you're a service provider or a product, or you are selling products, or you're selling service. So I'm watching you in the DM. Please tell me, what's the highest sales you've ever closed? What's the highest amount you've ever sold for your services or your products? Yes, please drop in the comments. I'd like to see, if you've made up to $1,000 before as your sales, I'd be happy to also hear your own inputs and opinions on how you can close such deals, right? But in case you haven't, it still doesn't matter, nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody starts from somewhere. So just drop for me, what's the highest amount you've ever made closing deals in the DM? And when we mean DM, it's also the same thing as inbox, also the same thing as private chats, PC, and DM is also known as direct messaging, right? So of course, different platforms, different terminologies, but DM, inbox, PC, they all mean the same thing. So please drop in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from, what part of the country you're watching from, and the highest deal you've ever closed for your brand or for your business or for your service. I'd be happy to hear. So is it $10? Is it $50? Is it $20? Is it $100? How much? I remember the first time I got paid $8,000. I can't forget that, because that's the highest at the time. That was the highest amount I'd ever been paid in foreign currency. I'm in Nigeria, and what we get paid is naira. And of course, I'd had a major shift before then. I decided that I wanted to go global. I was going to be charging my fees in foreign currency. Of course, that goes without saying. If you're a Nigerian, you understand why such situations have to come about. And I had a couple of transactions for clients, and I was able to close one of them, and my commission, what I got paid was $8,000, not 8,000 now. That is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8,000. And I remember that the first thing I thought was, I started sweating profusely. I never earned that kind of money. I started sweating profusely. I ran into the toilet. I locked the toilet door. I stripped myself naked. And I was just staring at the ceiling like, wow, $8,000. Hello, darling. Donna's channel, good to see you. Good to see you. You're welcome. And I hope you've subscribed though, please. Yes, so I was just sharing a testimony or telling the story of the first time I ever got the highest amount of dollars being paid. I mean, I'd received dollars like $100, $200, but when I got paid $8,000, it blew my mind away. And I'll share something with you. When I changed my mindset on so many things, especially sales, I started going into leaps and bounds, and I'll share something with you. And why I'm sharing this with you is to let you know that if I can do it, you can do it too. The minute I was able to change my mindset about money, about finance, I was able to build a house within 4 months. But I'm not going to say too much about that. I mean, today is for you. Today is to teach you how to make that kind of money. Today is to teach you, as a beginner, the things you need to do, the things you need to focus on. And like I said, whether you're a creator, whether you're a coach, whether you're a top professional, and even if you are a student, yes, you may be thinking, oh, doctor, I'm a student, I'm still in school, how can I make that kind of money? Yes, you can. You can actually cash out and make heavy money in dollars. But I just want to keep it simple. I want to keep our target simple. So our target is $1,000, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you today. How many people you need to sell to, how to break down your calculation, the right words to say, how to approach them, research, conversation starters, all those we are going to learn as much as possible today. Now, just for you to also know, you can drop for me in the comments your niche, because also one of the problems, or one of the drawbacks, or one of the challenges a lot of creators and professionals face in being able to sell their services is they have a niche problem. Now, what do I mean by niche? It's basically your specialty. So for instance, if you say you are a virtual assistant, right? I'm just using that as an example. It is not necessarily it doesn't apply only to virtual assistants. It applies to every. So if you say you're a virtual assistant, there are different industries that need virtual assistants. So you can be a virtual assistant for the health and wellness. You can be a virtual assistant for fintech. You can be a virtual assistant for the CEO of an educational online edutech. Exactly. There's fintech, there's edutech, there's health and wellness. So the point I'm trying to make here is that to make that kind of money, one of the things you need to get down, like really narrow down on, is your niche. Meaning that what are those specific problems that you are sure that you can solve, right? What are those specific issues you can solve? Just a minute. Yes, so what are those specific problems that you know you can solve? The magic here is all about identifying the pain points you can take care of and then package these pain points into offers. Now, part of what we're also going to learn is There are three kind of offers you can create to make $1,000. You can make what they call low ticket offers. You can make what they call low ticket offers. You can make what they call, I'm sorry, my felt pen just seems to be so poor these days. Middle ticket offers, and you can make what they call high ticket offers. We start again. Low ticket offers, middle ticket offers, and high ticket offers. So say your target is $1,000. You ask yourself, if your low ticket offer is $10, how many people do you need to sell this offer to make $1,000? And how long is it going to take you to make that $1,000? So if your product is $10, so if you divide $10 by $1,000, you already know how many people you need to sell to. If your product is middle ticket, that is not too cheap, not too expensive. So let's say, for instance, your product is $20. Now, if you're dividing $20 by $1,000, that automatically tells you how many people you need to sell your products to. I usually advise that your products or your services, to be able to scale into $1,000 sales quickly, need to be premium price. But here's the catch: if it is something you've not done before, if it's something you are not used to, then you need to be very, very realistic. First of all, it means that you have to test run with a sample set of people first before you scale bigger. So for instance, let's say you are an executive assistant, or you're a project manager, or you have services or products you sell. Now, the best thing is to start with between 3 to 5 clients at a very affordable rate. So let's say you say $10 now. That means if you have 5 clients, I'm not saying sell for $10 really, because there's only so much you can do, and it depends on the amount of energy you are putting into the service or energy you are putting into the product. So $10 may be shooting yourself in the foot. So if we go higher and say $50 is your service rate. So if you say $50 times 5 clients, that's $250, right? And let's say that's the maximum amount of clients you can cater for in a month. So that means that in 4 months, you'll be able to make $1,000. That is $250 in month 1, $250 in month 2, $250 in month 3, and $250 in month 4. That means that in 4 months, you can make $1,000. While in some cases, if your product is premium priced, let's say $100, if it's something that you can manage 10 clients, then that means in a month you can comfortably make $1,000. So one of the easiest ways to be able to get this volume is to also have your services or your products, if possible, as digital products. Digital products are actually easier to sell because they are powered electronically. They don't need you to be there physically at the same time. But we're getting there because there are different aspects to making $1,000 within the shortest possible time. But the first thing is you need to understand your niche, just as I said. First thing is you need to understand your niche, understand your target audience, understand the pain points that you can solve, and then you now move on to other areas. So this is just the basic. As a creator, this is just the basic you need to know. As a coach, this is the basic you need to, especially if you're just starting out. And as a student or professional who's looking to scale into being an entrepreneur or having side hustles or side income, the creator economy is a robust economy with trillions of dollars moving around. So there's nothing like the money is going to finish. You can make $1,000 within 6 weeks if you are very, very strategic about what you are doing. And like I said, you need to understand, ask yourself, what are the problems I can solve? Who are the people that I can solve? And where can I find those people? So we're going to take it step by step. Now, the beauty about this is that everything I'm teaching you today are things that I have done for years, right? There are things I have done for years, and things that I've perfected for years, and there are things I am still feeding on for years. I was in the corporate space for about 23 years in the corporate world. And it was through this strategy I was able to resign impromptu. If I was unplanned, I didn't want to resign, but some issues came up and I was able to resign from my job using this same strategy I am going to teach you. In fact, I started using the strategy after I resigned from my 9 to 5. When I resigned from my 9 to 5 job, there was just nothing else. All I had with me was my skills and my intellect. And I immediately created offers to start selling, and I started doing what we call, what I'm teaching you today, DM marketing. And it was that DM marketing, I was able, within 30 days, I was able to close 2 six-figure deals. And it's been 2 years I left corporate world, and that is what I have been feeding on. So this is not mere chance. This is not trial and error. These are strategies that actually work. All right. So we are going to just go ahead, and let me also let you know, you do not need ads. You do not need any sexy or any complicated sales funnel for this, and you also don't need a big audience. I am telling you this categorically because when I started out doing this, I had only 500 followers on LinkedIn. I had 0 followers on YouTube. I had maybe 50 followers on Instagram. I had 0 followers on TikTok. On Facebook, my Facebook was dead. I wasn't using my Facebook to do anything. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you do not need advertisement, you do not need sales funnel, and you don't need a big audience to start making money. All you just need is your phone, your words, and the right strategy. So everything I'm teaching you today, I'm teaching you based on my experience and based on what worked for me. This is someone that resigned from paid employment without any prior notice. I was forced to resign because I was working in a very toxic environment, and I'm using this same strategy I'm going to teach you. I have used it for the past 15 years, but you know, when you're doing side income as a 9 to 5, it's more comfortable because you already have a salary coming in. So the real deal is when you don't have a job or anything sustaining you, and you have to do this without any sure income coming in. So I'm going to be sharing my experience and showing you the step-by-step process of exactly what I did. So please, you need to stay to the end, and you need to pay attention. You need to take down notes, and good enough, thank God for YouTube. You can always come back and rewatch this in case there's any aspect that you need to be clear on. So I'm taking so much time to really discuss the basics, because once we get into the nitty-gritty, you know, it's something that you're also going to need to pay extra attention to. So the very first thing I want you to take note of is that to be able to start making $1,000 consistently, to be able to make $1,000 consistently through cold DM. Now, when we say cold DM, what does it technically mean? Cold direct message. You don't know them, and most likely they don't know you. These are people you've never had any, probably never had any conversation with. People you're not related to them. You're not friends. You haven't met them physically before. These are basically online marketing strategies. Now, if you remember, I don't know if you've ever experienced where there are people they call door-to-door salesmen. They knock on one door after the other to sell their products or sell their service. So in this case, this is an online door-to-door service style that I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to be showing you how to knock on people's door online to sell your services. You can knock online doors on YouTube. You can knock online doors on TikTok. You can knock online doors on Instagram. You can knock online doors on Facebook. And this strategy works on all platforms. It's not secluded to only YouTube. It's not secluded to only Instagram. As long as you have a service to sell. Now, what I'm teaching you can only work as long as you have a service to sell. So there's going to be a big problem if you don't have a service to sell. You don't have any skill you feel you are good enough to solve. For instance, if you're a medical doctor, you have services to sell. If you're a nurse, you have services. Everybody has a service to sell, but you first of all have to have a mindset where you know this, you are sure without a reasonable doubt that this is something you can take care of. Maybe you are a content creator, you can help people to write their YouTube script. You're a content writer, you can help people to write, you can ghostwrite for people, you can help people edit, you can help people proofread, you can help people to go shopping online, you save them the stress, you can sell vitamins and wellness appliances. There are so many things you can do. All you need to do is to first of all decide, what do I want to sell? This is the first question you need to ask. What do I want to sell? Once you have made up your mind that this is what I want to sell, the next question is, how much do I want to sell this service? I start again. The first thing you need to decide is, what do I want to sell? What pain points, what problem can this thing I want to sell solve? What solution is this service that I want to sell? What can it solve? Once you have made up your mind that this is what I want to sell and this is what it can solve, you have solved one problem for yourself. The next step is to ask yourself, where do I want to find these people I want to sell to make $1,000 to? Let me tell you, you can make $1,000 on YouTube, you can make $1,000 on Instagram, you can make $1,000 on Facebook, and you can make $1,000 on TikTok. But guess what? I would advise, if you're a newbie in this kind of field, pick the platform you are most comfortable with. But we are getting there. I don't want to rush too much. And please don't forget to subscribe if you're just joining us. Today's topic is how to make your first $1,000 using cold DM strategy. I've had so many people call me the queen of sales. I've been in sales for over a decade, I think almost 15 years. I have also started over 25 businesses. Yes, and out of the 25 businesses, 20 crashed. So trust me, when it comes to sales, I have been there, I have done that, I have come across all manner of clients, I have had the door shut on my face so many times trying to sell my products and services to people, and I still had the door shut in my face yesterday. So we're still going to come to the aspect of how to take rejection and how to take your client telling you or your prospect telling you no. Okay, so we're still going to get there, but I always love, my style is always making sure that the basics and the foundation of the class is tight and solid, so that when we move on to the strategy itself, you already know exactly, because without clarity, you're just wasting your time here. Without clarity, without understanding what you want to sell, you may have a serious problem selling it. Because when you get into people's DMs to sell your service and products, they're definitely going to be throwing questions at you. So if you don't know what solution your service or product is providing, please, ChatGPT is your friend. It can help you. Google is your friend. Just insert a prompt, tell ChatGPT the services you have or the products you have, and it should state 5 solutions your product or your service can provide. All right? So first thing first, identify the product or the service you want to sell. Package the product or service you want to sell through pricing. Determine how much you want to sell, right? And then also ask yourself, what platform am I most comfortable with that I want to sell? Based on my own experience, I started selling my own products on WhatsApp. I still sell on WhatsApp till date. Later, I augmented with LinkedIn, and now I have also added YouTube and Instagram. And these strategies I am going to teach you, everything I'm going to teach you, I have personally applied them on Facebook, on Instagram, on I think on every platform excluding TikTok. I'm not a fan of TikTok, even if I have my profile there. Yes, and that's to tell you that you can still sell on TikTok, but it depends on your own personal preference. So moving on. So the first thing I need you to understand is, I want you to have a mindset approach change. If you've never earned $1,000 in sales before, please listen to me. You can make $1,000 within 6 weeks. Yes, it is very possible. But what will stop you from making it is if you don't believe. What will stop you from making it is if you don't have an offer or service. So if you don't have an offer right now, you can go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What am I good at? If you're not sure, ask 5 to 10 friends to list out what your strengths are, what they think you are good at. So if you're good at making public presentations, then you probably will be very good in sales or good in teaching people how to speak in public. If you're good at singing, you probably can decide to sell a service of teaching people how to sing properly. If you're good at drawing, you can teach people any skill you know you are good at. The easiest thing to do is to teach those that don't know it how to do it. You don't need to crack your brain for anything too fantastic. A simple skill alone can give you. There are people out there looking for the service you can provide. This is what I need you to know. So by the time we're done with this class, I wanted to go back to your WhatsApp status or wherever platform you're most comfortable with and pick 5 people to pitch in their DM of what you can offer them. But we're getting down there. We're getting there. So the first thing I said is you need a change of mindset to believe that you can make $1,000. At the beginning of this class, I did a calculation for you. And I said, if your product is $50 and your goal is to make $1,000, that means that you have to sell, if let's say the highest amount of people, for instance, I'm a ghostwriter. I don't take more than 5 clients in a month. So if I'm to give a fee of $50, which that is not my fee, if I give a fee of $50 per client and I'm targeting $1,000 in a month, and if I can't take more than 5, that means that the highest income I can make in a month is $250. So that means it's going to take me 4 months to make $1,000. But it's a plus or minus. It depends on what you can handle. But the thing is, anyone you know you can handle, don't exceed it so that you can handle the job efficiently. All right, because we are still going to talk about getting referrals. We are still going to talk about we're going to talk about referrals, branding, and so many other things. But I want to make this class as short and as precise as possible so that you can get the nitty-gritty of the most important things. So please, I hope you're with your pen and your paper, because I'm going to start calling out a few points that you're going to need to take note of. Now, so we're going to handle, I've just finished talking to you about the mindset. Step 2 is the framework. We're going to be discussing the framework, which is the most important part. But like I said, your mindset has to be good, your service and your products has to be ready, and then we'll move on to the DM scripts and other aspects. So the first thing is, why do cold DM work? Now, a lot of people are scared of sending DMs to people they've never spoken to, never related to, because they are scared. Fear. Remember, we said that one of the things that draw people back in public speaking is fear. Fear of hearing no, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of being shamed, fear of being slammed with a no in the face. If you've ever been in sales like I have been, you probably would have heard so many no. I mean, there are times that my morale is so low because I would have spoken to a few prospects and each and every one of them say no. I mean, let me give you an example. Have you ever applied for a job and then days later or weeks later you get an email telling you that they found some other suitable candidate for the job? Yes, that feeling exactly is how salespeople also feel when they go into the DMs of clients and they get rejected. But stay with me, stay with me. I will show you a very simple framework that you're going to use to sell your services and your products in the DM to people that don't know you, you've never had a discussion with. Because the strategy we're going to be using is conversation DM, conversation strategy, building the right kind of conversations to get them to trust you. Because in sales, that's what they call the KLT factor. Before anybody buys anything from you, they must know you, they must like you, and they must trust you. So that means before anybody buys into your service or your products, if they don't know you, they're not, why should they trust you? So before anybody is going to release their hard-earned dollar to you, they must know who you are, and they must like what you stand for, and they must believe that you are a solution to their problem. Remember at the beginning of this class, I said, understand the service you want to sell. Understand the product you want to sell. Itemize the solutions, the problems that this product or service can solve before you start selling. Because if you don't know, because you're going to have people ask you, okay, so how does this service help me? How does this product help me? What I need you to know and be clear of is when you get into your prospect's DM, one of the tricks or tips of getting their attention is to relate how this service or product is going to solve a particular problem for them. If you are unable to relate this, then your DM strategy has failed upon arrival. So mindset, we've spoken about the mindset. So we are moving to the step-by-step framework. Remember, I said you need to have low ticket offers, medium ticket offers, and high ticket offers. Low ticket offers are offers that are cheaply priced, so $10, $20, $5. I don't want to mention $2 or $3. I know there are people that sell products like that, but depending on the level of energy you put into the service or product, I mean, $2, $3 may not be worth it. It's usually better for people that have lots and lots of customers already. I mean, when you have about 300 customers and you're selling the product at $5, by the time you multiply 300 customers by $5, you're making a huge amount of money. But digital products can give you this volume if you want, but we'll still get there. All right. So I said low ticket offers about $10, middle ticket offers between $20 and $40, and then high ticket offers about $200, $100, $500. Now, if you have a high ticket offer that is $100, by the time you multiply $100 by 10 people, then you can comfortably make $1,000. But then this strategy does not work for everyone, because let's be honest with ourselves. If you don't have a large audience, it may be a bit difficult to start selling your products at $100. Okay, so but the reason why I'm breaking this down is for you to know that when I started out, like I said, I think on YouTube I had only 75 followers. On LinkedIn I had only 500 followers. On Instagram I had maybe 50 or I had less than 100 followers on Instagram. So I barely had any audience, right? So I leveraged on WhatsApp because that was where I had more people following me. That was where I was communicating heavily with people. I still do that. But fortunately for me, because I have grown my social media brand now to other platforms, I don't need to rely only on WhatsApp. Now, each platform, whether it is YouTube, whether it is Instagram, whether it is Facebook or WhatsApp, you can actually run ads to get clients if you feel doing DM marketing will be too much stress. But not everybody can afford to pay that kind of money, because for the ads are not free. Once you start paying for the ads, you also understand that when you do ads and you have maybe, let's say 50 people make inquiry after you do your ads, out of the 50, it may be only 2 or 3 that may actually need the products or service that you are selling. So let's say you don't have any funds, any finance to pay for ads, then this is the first strategy you're going to apply. Okay, so we are moving on. Why do cold DMs work? Cold DMs basically work because not everybody has the luxury of having rich friends and family. You get what I mean? Not everybody is born into a silver spoon family or a golden spoon family. Some people have been born into hustle. Some of us have been hustling for God knows how many years. My highest deals closed, my highest sales closed were not for family and friends. Actually, my highest sales closed were to people that didn't even know who I was, practically strangers. Majority of my products and services when I started out, my friends and family never ever bought anything from me. So I don't know about you. You may be lucky to have friends and family that believe in you from the scratch. That wasn't my own story. My own story was when I started, family didn't believe in what I was doing, friends didn't believe, people thought I was joking, and I had to start doing cold DMs. In fact, I was forced into doing cold DMs, speaking to people I didn't know, because all the people that I was surrounded by didn't seem to need my products and services. And let me explain how you can easily fall into that trap. So say for instance, because this is where social networking comes in, you need to come out of your shell. Please, if you are looking into expanding into selling your services and products, you're going to need to build what they call a social networking system. You cannot sell $1,000 in your bedroom speaking to only yourself. You're going to have to gather courage, muster courage, and start going into the... See, let me tell you, when you go into the DMs, what do you think is the worst response you ever hear? No. They're not going to flog you with a cane. They're not going to pour fire on you. They're not going to... I mean, yes, you are going to feel embarrassed, but trust me, your yeses will always come. Out of every 5 no's, there's usually 1 yes. I did it last week. I sent 10 DMs to high-profile CEOs and founders, and out of the 10 DMs, I closed 5 of those deals. Trust me, I did not know these women from anywhere, but I had studied them. We're coming to that. I had studied them and realized that they had a problem with consistency on LinkedIn, and I have all the time, and they are very busy. I studied their content, studied their posts, I studied their posting pattern. I noticed some of them will not post for 2 months, some will not post for 1 month, some had not posted for 6 months. So I capitalized on that inconsistency when I started driving conversations in their DM. Okay, so that is it. So cold DMs work. They actually work. I'm a proof of that. Now, cold DMs also work because there's always somebody out there looking for the service or product you can provide. Sadly, it's not written on their forehead, I need your service, I need your product. So, hi Buchi, you're welcome. Yes, you're welcome Buchi. And please don't forget to subscribe as well, right? So, cold DMs work because you need to understand. One of the major reasons why it works is if you get the strategy right of understanding the pain point. Remember, we spoke about pain points. That is, what problem, what challenge is your prospect going through? Now, do you have the solution for this challenge? Now, the DM script is the easy part. The step-by-step framework is the easy part. But you need to understand these things, please, so that you also not waste your time and energy jumping into the wrong DMs, because you can end up jumping into 50 DMs and none of them is your ideal clients. What do I mean by ideal clients? Ideal clients are the people that need the solution you can provide. You are not for everyone. Your solution is not for everyone. Your product is not for everyone. So we are going to also talk about how to find the right people that you can solve their problems, right? So, first point is, I believe in don't wait for the mountain to come to Muhammad. I'm sure you would have heard a saying like that. I hope I got it right though. I always believe in Muhammad should go to the mountain. Don't wait for your clients to come to you. If you want to make $1,000 in the next 6 weeks, is possible. And we are getting to the strategy. Stay with me. Don't wait, I repeat, for the clients to come to you. You have to go to the clients. I repeat, don't wait for the clients to come to you. You have to go to the clients. Let me tell you, I'll give you an example. On LinkedIn, I have so many. One of my highest paying clients currently, she has never commented on any of my content, and she has never reacted or liked any of my content. Apparently, she's been shadowing me, she's been watching me, she's been reading my content, right? It was just maybe it was when I announced a free class, she jumped into the free class, and it was from there we built a conversation, and then she came for my one-on-one, and that was how the relationship blossomed, and she has given me so many referrals. Okay, so I also share with you how to start those kind of conversations. So now, to be able to make $1,000, one of the first steps you need to do is to build your outreach capacity. Building outreach capacity is on any platform you find yourself. Please don't get too comfortable with just posting, ghosting, and walking away. No, let your eyes be shining wide. Shine wide and look out for the people you know. If your product is premium priced, that means that there's certain specific set of people. For instance, if your products are expensive, it goes without saying that it's only CEOs, founders, and top professionals and business people that can afford. You may have a product that creators like you and I can afford. So you need to understand what is the pricing strategy of your service and your products. Like I said, the framework is easy, but the basics is where the complication is. If you don't get the basic right, you will end up sending DMs to the wrong people, and you will not even make $1. So I'm sharing the practical things I have done that I've used in closing various deals. Within the past, let me say 4 weeks, I've made over $1 million. How much is that in dollars now? within the past 4 weeks, I've made over ₦1 million just from this strategy that I'm teaching you. There's no magic to it. It's just knowing the right people to DM and DMing them at the right time. Meaning that I'm going to also show you how to build, you must build conversations with these people. Yes, it is called DM strategy, but there's a strategy I want you to implement before you start DMing them. I'm so sorry, I'm sweating profusely. It's pretty hot, and if I put on the fan, there may be a bit of a problem hearing me. Okay. Yes, so I said outreach is number 1. Have the mindset that you're going to do outreach on the client. 2 is every big business started with outreach. Coca-Cola started with outreach. Pepsi started with outreach. Name all the brands. Apple started with outreach. All these big brands you know now started with outreach. And some of them still do outreach, but I think they leverage more on ads now. And if your brand becomes strong enough, you don't even need to do outreach anymore. Like now, the level I've gotten to, my existing customers, I simply just ask them for referrals. For instance, if I have 5 clients and each of them is paying me, let's say $80 or $100 for my service, what I just do is, if I need to make more income, I have a way of having conversations with them, and I tell each of them to please give me 2 referrals each. And out of this, hi Annie. I like your plan. Yes, I think I'm going to have to build a class on how we can DM rich people to buy us houses. That is a fantastic strategy. I mean, if I can get someone to buy me a house, I don't need to work anymore. I'm just going to lie down all day and get spoiled. Thank you so much, sis, for joining. Thank you. So, yes, so now your DMs should be relevant, meaning that your conversation should be relevant. Please don't jump into someone's DM and say, hi, how is your family? How is your business? How is your job? How are your parents? How's your spouse? How are your children? Those are personal questions that you don't need to ask. You have to maintain professionalism when you're having conversations with people. Now, a warm tone, not too business-like, is necessary, but you need to have some certain conversation starters. Now, what is the easiest way to start this conversation? I'm sure you're asking me, because you're like, Dr. Ish has just been saying, send them DM, send them. Okay, how are we going to start sending them this DM? What is the first thing I'm supposed to say? Good. Remember, I said you don't need to have a big audience for it, but you need to have a certain level of credibility. First of all, what platform are you positioned on? Is it LinkedIn? Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? How consistently do you show up on those platforms? Do you show up once a year, once in 6 months, or once in 2 weeks? So consistency is important. Now, just hear me out. The reason why I'm saying this is because when you send a DM to a prospective client, this is what they do. They may not respond to you immediately. What they do is they go and check out your profile. I come again. When you send a DM to a prospective client, the first thing they do is to check your profile. Now tell me, why are they checking your profile? They want to know if they can trust you. Now, if they go to a profile where the last time you posted was 365 days ago, there's no way they're going to have, because they just believe once they pay you for the service, you're just going to shut down your platform and probably open another page. But when they check and they see that you post consistently, and when I say consistently, I am not saying 7 days a week. There's no point in running yourself down or burning out. When I say consistently, I mean 3 days a week is fine. I come again. If you want to make $1,000 and you've been able to pinpoint which platform works best for you, ensure that your bio is optimized. Ensure that your profile is optimized. Ensure that whatever service you are selling, your profile states exactly what you are selling. Right? I come again, because this is so important. For instance, if you say that you're a virtual assistant, does your profile say that you're a virtual assistant? Does the content you post say you're a virtual assistant? Is it the kind of content where you are you're pouting and you're, you know, shaking your bum bum and you're dancing, your content has to be such that you will be taken seriously. All right, so you need to be positioned properly. So you don't need a big audience. When I started selling inside cold DMs, like I said, I had 500 followers on LinkedIn. I had less than 100 on YouTube. I had less than 100 on Instagram. In fact, I had no social media presence. But one thing I made sure was, like I said, on WhatsApp, I went to my bio on WhatsApp, I cleaned it up. I went to my bio on LinkedIn, I cleaned it up. I went to my bio on YouTube and I cleaned it up. Now remember, I said I didn't have any audience, but I optimized all my profiles so that if I send you a message and say, good day ma, I'm a content writer, I'm a script writer, I can help you write your script for YouTube, I can help you write content for your LinkedIn, instinctively those clients go to your profile and check your profile if you actually do what you say you do. Remember what I said in sales, before anybody buys anything from you, the KLT factor comes into play. They must know you, yes, they must like you, and they must trust you. So if they don't know, how can your client know you? Remember we said it's a cold DM strategy, cold inbox strategy. You don't have the luxury of time for you to be chums for a year. You want to make your $1,000 now, right? So the fastest way to make the $1,000 is by making sure your profile is optimized. Your profile actually says what you do, meaning you have a professional picture there. You're looking nice. You're looking professional. You're not looking like a hooligan, and you want to sell something professional. People only respect what they see. You need to be perceived and packaged properly, and people will relate with you how they perceive you to be. So you can't say that you are a saleswoman or an educationist and you're there wearing a bra and pants on your profile and doing all sorts on your page. They're not going to take you serious. So please, you need to take good note of this. And like I said, you don't need a large audience. The first thing you need to do is to understand the product you want to sell, the service you want to sell. Hi Jacqueline. Hi Jacqueline, you're welcome. The first thing you need to do to sell $1,000 to your clients for whatever service or product you're selling is to understand your service, understand the problem you can solve. Once you understand the offer you want to give, the next thing is how much do you want to sell this product. Then decide which platform do you want to sell these products. Once you've made your decisions, then the next thing you do is to optimize your profile. Once you optimize your profile, the next stage is to start sending cold DMs. You do not need, I repeat, to have a large audience for this. You don't need to know them, but you need to know what problem you can solve. If you can't solve a problem, you don't have a skill you can teach, you don't have a problem you can help people with, then this strategy will not work for you. So if you don't have anything in mind that you can sell, it's not a problem. There's no pressure, there's no rush. Go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, what are those 5 problems I can solve? What are those 5 services I can help people with that I know that people will need, right? And those 5 services, in case you feel like your products cannot be priced really expensive, let's say you want to sell them for $10 or $20. Excellent. So what you do is you create 3 categories. You have the digital products, that is the online ones you can easily sell off to people. All you need to do is to send them the link. Maybe it's an ebook, maybe it's a workbook, something to help them that they don't need you physically to be there, right? But for the physical ones, you can up the price a bit. But then again, it depends on your confidence level. If you're not so confident about the service or the product you can offer, that's okay. That is fine. You start small, right? But because there's a calculation to this thing, and we are getting there. Now, if a client tells you no, this is something I need you to just understand, because you're going to keep hearing no. No matter how much of a fantastic saleswoman or salesman you have, yes, I know today we said I'm going to teach you how to make your first $1,000, but I need you to know that in the process of trying to make $1,000, you are going to hear no. So please don't say, oh, Dr. Ish is teaching us how to make $1,000. Nobody's ever going to tell me no. That's a lie. You're going to hear no, because you will end up marketing to the wrong people. Now, when I say wrong, it does not mean they don't need the products or service you are selling. They may not just need it at that time, or they cannot afford. I'll give you an example. For my ghost writing services and for my script writing services, the prices are usually premium. I had to break the prices down into 3 different levels so that other people could also afford my services, my consulting services for because normally I teach people I help people to rebrand their profiles, I help them to rebrand, I help them to write their YouTube scripts, I help them to rearrange their LinkedIn profiles, their YouTube profiles, and all that. So yes, I know not everybody is a CEO, not everybody is a founder that can afford hundreds of dollars. So I have lower priced products for people that are just starting out, and I have higher priced products for people that I know obviously can afford it. So you may want to also use this strategy. But the reason why I am confident in having high priced products is because this is what I've been doing for over 23 years. So I have the expertise and I have the pedigree. So it's easy for me to quickly come up with a portfolio to the clients. But let's imagine that you do not have 23 years experience like I do. Let's imagine that you are just starting out. So what you're going to ask yourself is, what niche can I take care of? So let's say you are on YouTube, you just came on YouTube, you've been on YouTube for 6 months and you're not doing badly. Okay, yes, you're not yet monetized. However, you are good in editing videos. People love the videos you edit. Or you're good with AI. Or you're good with voiceovers, so you can have services where you will help other YouTubers that are beginners to do their voiceovers. All they need to do is to send the script to you, you do the voiceover for them, and you send them the files back. Or you can write the voiceover script for them and do the voiceover on the script for them. I'm just giving you an insight. So what I'm trying to tell you that is, even if you're a beginner as a creator or a beginner as a coach, you can still make $1,000. So I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a wonderful voice and it's a skill. Every time you speak on the phone or you talk to people and people say, oh wow, you speak so well, you've got such a lovely voice. Fine. And you go tell them, okay, I've watched your videos on YouTube and I'm not really feeling it. I think I can help you with your voiceovers, because AI sometimes sounds so robotic. So I can do voiceovers for you. Oh wow, really? You can do voiceovers? Yes, I can. And I'm pretty affordable. I'm even cheaper than the AI apps. Excellent. And I'll do it exactly how you want me to do it. Beautiful. So now that's you selling a service to someone by identifying the problem that they have and then having a conversation to tell them that this you can do easily solves their problem for them, and then you have a pricing strategy. Now if you're just starting out, I would not advise you to give a very big price. Give an affordable price so that if there's a reason for refund, you will easily be able to refund so you don't get into any trouble, right? So by the time you've had like 3, 4, 5 clients, you can see that your confidence will be building. Then you can now start searching for premium clients, right, that also have YouTube channels. And this is easy. There are thousands of people on YouTube that need voiceover artists. Thousands of people on YouTube that don't like using AI for their voiceovers. And between you and I, we all know that AI has its pros and cons. So I'm just using voiceover as an example. I'm not saying go into voiceover, but this is, yes, please, Buchi. Oh, I thought you had a question for me. Yeah? So that is just an example. You can also decide to help young YouTubers rewriting their YouTube scripts. You can also help young creators, let's say people that have less than 500 followers on YouTube or 500 followers on LinkedIn, to write their content and they're very busy. It's just a matter, like I said, of identifying the problem you can solve, right? And then fixing a price to it and creating a system for it. But like I said, you must gather courage for outreach. Don't wait for them to meet you. You have to go and meet them. Okay? Now, what I also want you to understand is that when you are selling, when your goal is to make $1,000 using cold DMs, remember I said cold DMs is speaking to people privately, people that you really don't have a relationship with. But here's the thing, I want you to build a relationship before you pitch. Yes, I know I said it is cold DMs, but I want you to build a relationship first, and I'll show you how to build, so stay with me. Yeah, so think when you're going to pitch, eventually you're going to be pitching a service and not sales, right? Like the way you're going to position the DM script, because I have a DM script, 10 DM scripts that you can use, DM package. So what you just need to do is when the live class is done, just drop a comment for me, you know, and type DM script, and I can send it to you. You can type DM script, and then I'll send you the link so that you can download it, and you know, and then we move on from there. But it's not something I can send immediately. I have 10 DM scripts you can use. You can just fine-tune them to suit the situation, or I can guide you, right? So, and also if you're having a problem positioning yourself on LinkedIn and on YouTube, or you need help to create your offers or your services, or you're confused, you don't even know, okay, what am I even good at? What skill am I good at? What can I sell? Then we can always send me a message too, and then we can have a one-on-one clarity discussion, and I'll tell you what to do and how to position yourself. We can even do a total rebrand for you once we have come to a conclusion on what you can sell, and then create the offers for you so that you can start selling within the next 7 days to 14 days, and then you make your $1,000 within 30 days. I like to keep things very practical. 30 days. All right. Now, if there's a science to it, if you send 10 DMs, okay, if you send 10 DMs, you may most likely get 3 replies. Trust me, when you're sending DMs, not everyone will reply. If you're like me that has been sending DMs for God knows how many years, you realize that when you send DMs, some will even read it, they will not reply. They will not tell you anything. You will see that they've read the message and they will not respond. They will just act as if, you know, so don't expect everybody you send a DM to respond. So when you send 10 DMs, 3 people will reply, okay? And out of the 3 people that will reply, you may only get 1 client. This is the science to how DM marketing works. Oh, are you serious? I thought you were one of my students, so because I have a student called Buchi. So when I saw your name, I was like, oh, this is my own Buchi. I have a student called Buchi in my WhatsApp class, and you know, she was supposed to be here. So when I just saw Buchi, if you see the way I greeted you, like as if I know you, so I was like, oh, Buchi has joined class. All right, thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I hope you've subscribed. So how has been your, yes, graphic designer? I have so many mentees that are graphic designers. Thank you so much. I am so grateful. So I want you to tell me, Buchi, if you have any challenge in selling your graphic designer, I'd love to support you if you need my support. Are you properly positioned on YouTube for your graphic designing? If you are or you're not, please let me know. And are you positioned on LinkedIn? If you are or not, let me know. Trust me, Buchi, you can make $1,000 within 30 days from these 2 platforms. All right. So thank you very much for joining. I'm grateful. Thank you for subscribing as well. I go live regularly. I teach creators and founders how to present themselves, and coaches as well, how to present, how to speak in public, how to sell their offers. You know, we're all looking for money now, and not everybody is monetized on YouTube, sad enough. LinkedIn doesn't pay creators. TikTok, you have to be, I think, I'm not sure, but you can correct me. TikTok, I think your profile has to be opened somewhere outside Nigeria, maybe like UK or the US, before you can be monetized. Okay, you're just on Instagram, but you're trying to start on LinkedIn. Okay, that's excellent. Okay, so Buchi, search me out on LinkedIn, Dr. Isioma Elora Ona. Send me a connection request, and I can guide you. I mean, LinkedIn is my baby. It's I mean, LinkedIn and YouTube, just I can consult for those ones without even cracking my brain. So my name is Dr. Isioma, Ishioma, Elora, Elora, Ona, Onah. I don't know if my community manager is here. I would have asked her to type it out, but I can't seem to find her in this chat. So Dr. Isioma Elora Ona, Ishioma, Elora, then my surname Onah. You will see me there positioned as a visibility and monetization coach and a ghostwriter. So send me a connection request, send me a DM, and let's talk. I'll be very happy to help you position on LinkedIn. Trust me, Buchi, people are making mad money on LinkedIn, like thousands of dollars. And if you've not yet started making dollars, Buchi, you are missing. So please make sure you send me a message. And I'll also send you a link to join my WhatsApp class so that you can, I do a lot and lots of free training on on positioning on LinkedIn and YouTube, and how you can, start earning money, how to start making money. So that's like, I'm the queen of money. I love money so much. So I like to teach people how to make money as well. So thank you once again. And please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're just joining my live class, my name is Dr. Ish. Well, Dr. Ishoma Elora Ona, but for short, Dr. Ish. Everybody calls me Dr. Ish. And I'm crazy about personal branding. I'm crazy about sales. I'm crazy about helping creators, coaches, helping everybody as much as I can to make money. These classes are premium classes. I mean, clients pay me 6 figures, 7 figures to teach them how to make money. But one of the things I decided to do is to do this free on YouTube. So I'm just pleasure. I'm so honored to have you here watching this live. And I'm hoping that you've taken down notes. In case you didn't take down notes, you can always come back after this live to watch from the beginning. I have shared deep strategies already that if you implement, trust me, I left paid employment after 23 years of suffering. Trust me, working in very toxic job environments. And these strategies I'm teaching you is what I've used to survive off the job, off 9 to 5 for the past 2 years, earning good money. I'm telling you, good money. I don't want to even mention figures, but good money, okay? So, now I've mentioned that for this to work, you have to be willing to go out of your comfort zone to send messages to your clients. And don't be afraid of hearing no. You will hear no. You will hear no. They all cannot tell you yes. So don't be scared. The best you hear is a no. It will not kill you. It won't kill you. Don't be scared. They've told me no. I've been abused in the DMs before, and I'm not scared. I will still go back. Do you understand? You just have to be like, you know how a dog is with a bone. Don't be scared. If it doesn't work with one person, move on to the next person. That's how sales is. If one person feels they don't need your service, that's fine. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Thank you so much for your time. You move on to the next client, right? Because the people that need you are out there. And they're not going to be dropping ads to say, I need a graphic designer, I need a virtual assistant, I need a monetization coach. So you have to go look for them, all right? And I mentioned that with sales strategy, for you to make $1,000, right? If you send 10 DMs, all right, darling, if you send 10 DMs, only 3 people most likely will reply. Why? Because they don't know you. Let's be honest. It's called cold DM for a reason. Cold. They don't know you. I mean, you can even send to friends and they will not respond because they don't want to spend. I'm building my own sales platform. Like I said before, friends and family never bought anything for me. So you may be lucky. You may have friends and family that believe in you. And when you're selling your services and your products, they quickly buy. I didn't have that luxury. So I was forced to start doing cold DM strategy. I was forced to start selling to strangers. But like I said, this, if you don't even pick anything else, ask yourself, what can I sell? And I'll advise you, don't go into products. Face skills. Graphic designing is a skill. Virtual assistant is a skill. Executive assistant is a skill. Digital marketing is a skill. Singing is a skill. Teaching is a skill. All right? Ask yourself, what are those 3 skills I am good at? There are always people that don't know up to what you know. Don't get it wrong. You may feel you're not good enough. I've just been doing this for 6 months. Who's going to want to learn? Trust me, there are always people that want to learn. Singing, speaking English, speaking Yoruba, speaking Igbo, learning how to speak dialects. There are people that want to learn it. Yes, it looks silly to you, but trust me, there are people ready to pay. For instance, I have a friend who didn't have any skill, and she was crying to me, hey doctor, I'm broke. She's always broke. And what am I going to sell now? You're always shouting skill enhancement, skill upgrade. Okay, you are my friend, tell me what skill. And this my girlfriend, every opportunity she has to speak Yoruba, oh God, she refuses to speak English language. She's always blowing Yoruba. So I told her, I said, you have a gift, a natural flair for speaking Yoruba language. Why don't you just become a Yoruba teacher? Online, simple. There are people looking to learn how to speak Yoruba. She said, but how can I be teaching people that are living in Nigeria how to speak Yoruba? They already know how to speak. I said, okay, fine, right? What you need to do is to position yourself for diaspora clients. Nigerian families that are based in the US, based in the UK, based in China, based in different parts of the world, that they have lost out on culture. Their children don't know how to speak their dialect again. You now become their teacher, the children's teacher. It's so easy. All you need to do is those clients' children online how to speak Yoruba one-on-one. Do you know how much this my friend is earning now? She gets paid $500 to teach children how to speak Yoruba online. Can you beat that? Like, you don't need a degree to learn how to speak Yoruba. JJ, can I have my charger and my cord, please? Thank you. My battery is running low. So my friend, I'm just giving you examples so you can understand that this thing is real. It's not 419, it's not scam, it's not I don't believe in get rich quick schemes. I've never believed in it. I worked in the financial industry for over 20 years. I've never believed in I've always believed in strategic hard work. All right. I'm so sorry, my battery's low. Let me quickly put this. Oops. Yes, so this my particular friend speaks Yoruba so well, and guess what? She's a biochemist. She's a scientist. Well, I'm so sorry, I'm sweating like a goat. If I put on the fan, you won't be able to hear me. So she's a scientist, but for some reason, she just didn't want to apply all the things she learned from science. So by the time I did a package for her, so I got her to position herself on LinkedIn as a linguist, a Yoruba linguist coach, right? And on YouTube, I rebranded for her also in that same, because on every tip to gain trust, right? On every platform, your profile needs to be synchronized. You cannot be a mechanic on Instagram, a graphic designer on YouTube, and a dancer on LinkedIn. That's wrong. Your clients are not going to trust you, because trust me, before anybody's going to release premium money to you, they're going to go and they're going to dig. You know how it is online. Digitally, you can fish anybody out. So one thing you need to understand before you start making your $1,000 sales, your platform, your profile needs to be clean and tidy, right? So back to my friend. So I repositioned her on LinkedIn to become a Yoruba linguist educator. She's a biochemist, she's a scientist, right? But her skill, what came naturally to her was speaking Yoruba language. She never got training. She's a Yoruba girl. She speaks Yoruba so fluently. She knows all the marks, all the intonations and everything. I'm so sorry for my international clients. This may not resonate with you, but I'm sure you understand what I mean by local dialects, right? And I positioned her on LinkedIn and on YouTube to be a Yoruba diaspora coach for children between ages 5 to I think 15, thereabout, right? For young children and teenagers. And we created different offers for her. Now she's almost done creating her digital classes, where she has done recordings, alphabets, reading, identifying shapes and objects. She's done with the digital videos, and we know we're packaging it so that she can start selling those products to her diaspora clients. And guess what? She even has schools here in Nigeria that also started reaching out to her to come and teach students how to speak Yoruba. Like, she's making so much money that even the things she went to go and learn in school, she's not even using it. Imagine being a Yoruba teacher and earning, like, she's even richer than I am right now. So this is just to show you that there are skills you have that you have probably overlooked, thinking that you cannot monetize them. Any skill that you are not monetizing is just a passion. So please, you need to go and dig deep down and check on your skills. Because I know that where you are, you may be thinking, Dr. Ish has been shouting $1,000. Which skill do I even have I can use to earn $1,000? So please, go back into your drawing board, go back into your inner mind, go and start thinking of, list out the skills. If you don't even know the skills, ask your friends, ask your family, trusted ones. List 5 of my strengths, things you know that I am very, very good at. These things are the things you will need to package. If you don't know how to package to monetize them, you can reach out to me. And do you need something? You can reach out to me and I'll show you what to do. So moving on quickly so that we can round up. So I said, sending 10 DMs, you get only 3 replies, and 1 out of the 3 replies ends up being your client. So how are you going to make this $1,000? Well, I will need you to send 100 DMs. Is that possible? Is this something you can do? 100 DMs sounds much, right? But it's not impossible. All you need to do is to set your mind to it. Now, here's the thing. 100 DMs, all you need to do is to break them down in a space of, you like me, my one-on-one clients, I'm brutal. They say that Dr. Ish always brings a cane to the classroom. If you come into my WhatsApp classes, you'll hear what my students always say. They say, oh, Dr. Ish is always flogging us with koboko, with cane. Because my targets are always, hi Esther, my targets are always very brutal for my one-on-one clients now. So when we're talking about hitting, making $1,000, this is what, if you are my student now, this is what I'll tell you to do. You are going to send 100 DMs within 7 days. Right? 100 DMs within 7 days. If I want to be nice, I'll tell you will send 100 DMs within 14 days. Thank you, darling. You're welcome. So if I want to be nice, I will tell you to send 100 DMs within 14 days, right? So in 14 days, you will divide 100 DMs by 14 days. Now, I hear you ask me, Dr. Ish, 100 DMs in 14 days. Who are these 100 people I'm going to send to? Cool down, cool down. Don't be scared. Don't go sweaty, right? Like I said, remember I said, figure out which platform you are most comfortable with, okay? When you figure out the platform you're most comfortable with, so let's use LinkedIn for an instance. I don't want to spill the entire cat out of the bag. So when you are using, let's use LinkedIn for an instance. Let's say as a graphic designer, just like my new friend Buchi, right? And let's say Buchi decides he wants to be doing graphic designing for coaches. So it's easy. All he needs to do is under the navigation pane, he types the word coaches there and taps. When he types in coaches and taps, the LinkedIn will bring out almost 1,001 people globally that have coaches on the headline. It's called search, keyword optimization, search, using search, you know, because coaches will always put coach on their headline so they can easily be found. When you tap it in, once you type in the word coaches, let's say you are positioned to help coaches, type in the word coaches on this navigation pane, right? You can even do it on YouTube. It's possible. You can also do it on Instagram. Coaches. Let's say you're a graphic designer for coaches. Type coaches on the navigation pane. Tap. It's going to bring out a list of people that are coaches. Now, if you can get up to 50 people in a day or 100, take a screenshot of all of them. Okay? Take a screenshot of all of them. That is their handles. And then your next strategy is to map out how to start sending them DMs. Like I said, I can't be giving you the DM script here. So if you need the DM script, just drop a comment after this class is over, and then I can find a way. Maybe I send you my email, or I get your email and I'll send you the DM script, right? Like 10 DM scripts that you can fine tune, you know, and turn around to be able to use for yourself. Okay? So the target is 100 DMs. And when you have 100 DMs, you'll be able to get clients that can pay you. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I had a very heavy lunch. Yes, so get 100 clients that can pay you that kind of money. But remember, I also said it depends on the cost of your offer. So if your offer is really low, like $10, it means you're going to be selling to a lot of people to make it. So, but if your offer is like some $50, $100, it may be easier to make $1,000 within a stipulated period of time. Now, there's no pressure. I'm not saying go make $1,000 within 7 days. You can give yourself a 1 month, a 2 month target. But the conclusion of it all is to be able to meet up. Oh, okay, Esther. Okay, Esther. If you're in any of my groups, just buzz me in the group and then I'll send you the DM script. All right. If you're in any of my groups, just mention that you were in the live class and then I'll send you the DM script. Okay. All right. So 100 DMs. So that's what you're going to do, right? So when I say make $1,000, I don't want to put you under pressure, but for my mentees, oh my God, I can give them I usually give them 6 weeks to make $1,000. But I'm just telling you here that it is possible to make it in 6 weeks. It's possible, sorry, not impossible. It's possible to make it in 3 months, in 6 months. Just set a realistic target for yourself. If you set it for 6 months and you make it in 6 months, your next tranche of making $1,000, you can now reduce the timeline from 6 months to 3 months, because at this point you're already used to the process and you work more efficiently, right? So remember, identify your dream clients. Identifying your dream clients means, I've already mentioned it. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on YouTube? Once you identify, the next step is to be specific on the niche. Remember I said it is coaches you are for, or creators you are for, or business owners, whoever it is you know you can solve their problem, use their search name, not their personal name. The name of the industry they are in to use to search, so that you can gather the 100 people you will send messages to. All right. And then the next is to open a conversation. Yes, this is beautiful. How will you open a conversation? So this is the trick that I always use, or tip, or hack, as you wish to call it. Once I've identified 10 people that I want to sell my services to, I go to their posts, I go to their content, and I start commenting and liking their posts. On their post, I comment. On their content, I comment. Okay, I go again. On their post, I comment. On their content, I comment. I comment for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks strategically, because I know that some deals take longer to close. Some deals will take you 2 days, some deals will take you 1 week, some deals will take you months. But like if I'm using LinkedIn again as an example, I comment on their posts for like 2 to 3 weeks to a month till they notice me. So this is how to open conversations. Open conversation by getting noticed, by interacting with their conversations. You must interact with their own content to get noticed. Then you can now move on to the DM. How do you move on to the DM? Don't pitch immediately, please. For the first 1 or 2 weeks, I advise you, don't pitch your service immediately. Open with the conversation. I said 2 types of conversations. Conversation on their content, then conversation in their DM. First conversation on the content or their post is to understand, read their about section, read their bio, understand them, research about them. Then when you get into their DM, your next conversation is going to be, wow, I love your post about the new economic policies. Please, if you don't know anything about economic policies, go and do your research. Whatever answer you want to give them, study about that particular content. Do your research. You can use ChatGPT for that. So when you are done, then you go into your DM and you tell them, oh, I like the post you talked about wellness for women. As a woman too, I am also very interested in such a topic. And then you can ask them a question. Now that question is to drive engagement. So don't berate their content, please. Don't tell them they don't know how to write a post. Don't tell them the post was horrible. Find a way to find a common ground, right? So you may look through there, like there are 2 or 3 I noticed that we attended the same university, but they're older than I am. So I started my conversation with, wow, I'm surprised you also attended Ogun State University. I attended Ogun State University. I studied philosophy. I graduated 2004. I can see you graduated. It's such a pleasure meeting an fellow alma mater. It's been 7 years I've been to the school last. When last did you visit the school? I use that to strike conversation. In many cases, they respond, right? Or I just, directly go to their content and say, I love what you posted yesterday. It was so interesting. I understand your struggle in this area, but I just want to suggest, I have a free sample for you to take a look at. Are you open to me sending you the free sample? It will be able to solve this problem for you. No strings attached. It's just something for you to take a look at to make life a bit easier for you. In most cases, when I do things like that, they say, oh wow, really, is this part of what you offer? I say yes, but we're not talking about my offer. I just want you to be able to be comfortable in what you're doing. I send it to them for free. And then I'll give an example. I had one of my best clients for ghostwriting. She was my one-on-one client. After all my 3 months of training, she was still struggling to write. In fact, I was frustrated because she was spoiling my brand. Imagine training a student for 3 months and she was unable to write her content even after training. So I waited for like 6 months studying her content. She still was struggling. She wasn't consistent. So they won't reply, Buchi. They won't reply. Never. They won't. They'll ghost you. They will ghost you. Trust me. I have been there. I did this for years. I never got a deal. It was only people that maybe I worked with in close proximity at work, and I'll reduce my charge so that they won't. You see, if you pitch immediately, they will never reply. They will think you are a scam. They'll just say you are spamming, because if you're not careful, they'll call you a spam. That is, there's scam and there's spam. They'll say you're spamming their mails. I have a couple of friends on LinkedIn who were always sending DMs like this. The people they were sending DMs to eventually reported them to LinkedIn, and their accounts got banned. Do you understand? So it's really dangerous, right? This is the best way to make sales. You need to start conversations on their content first, right? Always comment. What I do, for the ones I want to close, I click on their notification bell. Beautiful tactic. Once their content drops, hey, I am among the first. I know the time they post. Study them. Do these people post 7 a.m. every morning? Do they post 10 a.m. every morning? Once you know the time, set alarm. I always set alarm. I have different alarm. Once my alarm rings, it means that this person has dropped their post. I jump into LinkedIn or YouTube anyway. The minute they've dropped their content, I'm already the first 5 comments. First 5 comments, you must see my comment. And my comment is not 1 line, no. My comment can be 8 lines. I do it so much that at the end of the day, these people come into my DM and they start thanking me. You are always commenting on my post. Your comment is always so insightful. I laugh because they don't know that I have done my groundwork and research on them. I've studied the universities they went to. I've studied all the jobs that they've gone through. I've studied where they worked. Like, I'm a stalker. Really. So that's how to get them. You need to understand them. You understand? Not in a creepy way, though. Not in a creepy way, but you need to understand them. Right? So please, one of the ways of closing deals, don't pitch immediately. Don't be a stalker. Don't be creepy. Understand them by making conversations through their content. And then when you come into their DM, the DM should be about what they posted, not about what you want to sell. That is the hack. When you get into their DM, let it be about their content. Let it be about them, not about you, please, Buchi. So let it be about them, not you. Your target audience, any solution you want to give them must be about them. Praise them, not fake praise or real praise, please, because some can detect when you are doing fake hyping and it will turn them off, right? So pick 1 or 2 of their content, go into their, try it like 3 times. I'm telling you, they will start asking you, what do? You will notice that they will start checking your profile. They'll start, then they will not start telling you, okay, I see you're a graphic designer, and can you design a flyer for me? Or let's say, for instance, there was one I used to grab one lady. She clocked 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, right? I'm giving you expo. I'm giving you very, very nice tip. So she clocked 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I noticed she just made a random post. I just got 5,000 followers. So this was what I did. I screenshot her profile. I took a screenshot of her profile picture. I got my graphic designer to create a 5,000 follower flyer celebration for her. So I now sent it to her DM. I told her, Mama, your profile is too big for you to just be sending ordinary posts. I've clocked 5,000 followers. The way they do it here on LinkedIn, you're supposed to celebrate with a flyer. And she was shocked. I did not ask her for a dime. And she was like, really? I usually see people use flyer, but I didn't know how to go about it. I was just laughing. She did not know that it was a strategy I used for her, right? So I got my graphic designer to do a 5K follower celebration flyer for her at my own expense, right? And I sent her the flyer and I said, your next content, use this flyer to celebrate your 5K follower. And she did that, all right? And when she did that, I was also part of the first 5 people to respond. Trust me, that woman became my client in less than 48 hours. She started asking me, which classes do you have? I see that you are very good in sales and all these things. But I said, Mama, no problem. You are in so industry. You also need to attract the right kind of people. I can show you how to attract the right kind of people. And that was how I closed the deal without even selling my services. Do you understand? So you must also be ready to give to get. This is also a very, very important strategy in making $1,000 for yourself. All right. So like I said, don't make the mistake of pitching immediately. Now, the final aspect is scaling up. But before I talk about scaling up, I need you to understand that whatever service or product you are giving, to be able to make $1,000 consistently, not just as a one-off, you need to also be able to rely on a referral system where your brand is automatically selling for you. Now, the best way to get this done is to make sure that anybody, all the first people you've been able to get to sell, to buy into your business, please, you must give them premium service. Even if they are paying you $10, give them, go the extra mile. I'm not saying sell yourself. I'm not saying overdo. Go the extra mile to give them top-notch service. If you give top-notch service, they will always come back. See, it's difficult getting a new client. It is easier when you have 10 clients to maintain those 10 clients. It's more difficult if you do a service for 10 clients and those 10 clients, 7 are dissatisfied. They will never come back to buy from you again. So please, if you don't understand anything else, if you have 10 clients and out of the 10 clients, 7 of them are not happy with your service, they will not come back to you again. So please, I need you to know that. And like I said, to make $1,000, all you need to do is to set a target for yourself. How long do I want to make it? Is it 2 months, 6 months, 3 months, 7 weeks? I usually give my students 6 to 7 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to make $1,000 from their service. But first of all, the first thing we do is to identify what can you sell, what are you good at, what are those skills that we can monetize. So we monetize the skills for you, we create digital products for you, we rebrand for you, and then we do so many other things so that you can sell yourself. And like I said, I see a lot of people do it on LinkedIn. You just jump into someone's DM, you don't know the person. I just start telling them, I'm very good with helping people to gain followers on YouTube. Bro, I don't know you from anywhere. That's not how to sell, because automatically anybody that sees that is going to just consider it as a red flag. That is not how to sell your services. If you want to sell on YouTube, for instance, you want to sell your services to anybody on YouTube, and hear me clearly, because these are things that I do, and I'm making money from YouTube, even if not all my channels are monetized, but I still make money from those channels. And what do? I interact with other YouTubers. I show up consistently on their videos. I show up to support them on their videos. The easiest way to get clients is to show up consistently for your clients. Show up for them, support them, contribute, right? And then show them areas that they can improve, right? Like now, I have people that automatically just tell me, oh, Dr. Ish, I need to rebrand. I don't like how my package is looking. My whole YouTube package. I mean, take a look at my own channel. The color. I pick colors for you, brand colors for you. Trust me, everything is strategic. I pick brand colors and every other need to do. Same thing I do for creators and farmers. These are part of the thing. Anybody's DM you come into, the first thing they do is they will go and check your profile. If your profile is not synchronized, if you're spammy and scammy, they will not buy. You are a graphic designer or you're a virtual assistant and your profile serious, okay? But I don't want to go into that. Ask for optimization, and optimization so that you will know to look out for anything they're supposed to do. So I'm talking about referral system now. If you have 7 clients and you clients well and you give them good services, you may not even necessarily need to do it. Each of those clients can give you 3 of those clients 3 referrals each, and once they give you 3 referrals, you are already building a system of what we call a client bank, right? that every time you need sales, you know that consistently you have people that you can sell your services to. Now, once you've been able to make your $1,000, even if it's once or consistently, the next challenge most creators or coaches or founders have is scaling up, standardizing your process. This is another class on its own, but I don't want to go into that so that we don't confuse you. But just briefly, you will need to standardize your process. You will need to build systems that so that you will not be overwhelmed. Systems where automated systems actually. And then you may need to hire also. For instance, I'm a ghostwriter. I can't ghostwrite for the entire world. So most times what I have now is when I have clients that need my services, I am now recruiting 1 or 2 other people that I can support, that can support my business, so to speak, like employ 1 or 2 ghostwriters. So they write, so when I get jobs, I give it to them, and then of course I get my own cut, and I pay them, I put them on a salary, so to speak. But that's upscaling the business, all right? And so cold DMs are just a launch pad for you. The summary of everything is you don't need a large audience. See, I will repeat. When I started doing cold DM strategy, I had no support from family. I had no support from friends. I didn't know anyone. On YouTube, I had, I think, 78 followers. On LinkedIn, I had 500. On Instagram, I had 38. TikTok, I think I had 5. So I didn't have, you don't need a large audience to make $1,000. All you need to do is to optimize your profile, understand the services that you can give, and then go and search for 100 people in the niche where you have the ability to solve their problem. If you don't have the ability to solve anybody's problem, then there's no point pitching to anyone. And like I said, if you're going to pitch with conversations. Don't pitch with sales pitch. Does that make any sense? Start with conversations. Don't use sales pitch. Don't go into the DM and say, oh, I'm a virtual assistant. I'm very good at helping coaches and creators, busy professionals like you, to take responsibility of them. And they're going to ghost you. They will never respond. So the first thing to get noticed by your prospective clients is to engage with their content. If you're on LinkedIn, engage with their content. If you're on Instagram, engage with their content. Always be the first 5 so that they notice you. Do this, please. If you don't remember anything else, pick 10 clients. If you feel 100 is too much, pick 10 clients, right? Put on notification bell, any platform it is that they are on. Make sure that for 2 weeks you are part of the first 5. That's if you want to sell to them. If you want to sell to them, and if you feel you are the right person, you have the right solution to their problem. For the next 2 weeks, anytime they drop a post, make sure you are part of the first 5 people commenting. After 2 weeks, I want you to go into their DM, right? Don't be scared. Go into their DM and pick 2 posts, 2 content that resonates with you, or even if it doesn't resonate with you, but that you are still knowledgeable a bit. Go into their DM and have a discussion with them on those content and tell them, I love what you do. I like your last content. It spoke about this, it spoke about that. I resonated with this, I resonated with that. This is my opinion. And please, when you're sharing your opinion, don't share a negative opinion. Don't tell them they're stupid, or don't tell them that they don't know what they're saying. Please don't do that. They're only going to piss them off. Someone did that to me one day. She was trying to market, she wanted to be my graphic designer, right? And I had just dropped the post. And she started telling me that the flyer I used was ugly and she can do a better flyer. I was so irritated. Like, how can you come into my DM and tell me that the flyer I used for my content is ugly and that you can do a better flyer? And I felt so insulted because the person that did the flyer for me did it for me free, right? She may not have been an expert. Oh, I'm sorry. He may not have been an expert, but he did it for me free. So how can you come into my DM and insult a flyer that I put? So please, be very careful. When you get into someone's DM, don't insult. See, this is someone you don't know and they don't know you. So be very careful. I always stay clear of, don't criticize. If you want to have a conversation with somebody who's a prospect, who you want to collect money from, don't criticize them. Big mess up. Big mess up. She wanted to become my graphic designer, but she came in and told me that the flyer I used for my content is ugly. She can do a better flyer. What? Are you kidding me now? The flyer is ugly. Hell no, I'm not gonna use you. You can't be my graphic designer. You've just embarrassed me. A big audacity. So why am I going to why should I use you as my graphic designer? No way, girl. No. You can't be. So that is the wrong way to sell. Please don't do it. Yeah, like for instance, if I want to help someone rebrand, I have a client, in fact, not a client, like 10 of them, their profiles are so ugly. One of them had the wig on her hair. She's looking like a witch. Horrible glasses and everything, no finesse, but she's stinkingly rich. They're very, you have all these clients that have so much money, but they don't even know how to dress, Now imagine me going into their DM to tell them, do you know that your wig makes you look like a witch? Tell me, do you think they will even listen to me? Come on, that's crazy. How do you do things like that? It's wrong. That's wrong. So please, if you've ever done this before, don't do it again, right? So the things not to do if you want to make $1,000 for yourself within the next 6 weeks to 6 months, when you go into the DM of your clients, don't berate them, don't criticize them. Please find something to praise them about. If just look for one thing. I love the way you smile, and don't try to look like you're trying to date them. Please be careful so they don't think you're trying to ask them out too. Not sending praises, especially if it's to the opposite sex, be very careful. For instance, as a woman, if I go into the DM of a man that I want to write for, I'm not going to go to tell the man that you're so handsome, you're so sexy. Hi, Jesus. Please let me laugh. Please don't do that. I had a guy who came into my DM on LinkedIn. I can't remember what he wanted to do for me. So I had a photo shoot where I used brown, honey colored, green eye contact. This guy comes into my DM and says, good day, doctor. Because when I do my photo shoots, I always look very beautiful. You know how we women package and makeup and everything. And the guy comes into my DM and says, good evening, doctor. You look so beautiful. I just wanted to ask, are those the real color of your eyes? I'm like, what is going on social media? Is everyone going crazy? He wanted to become, I can't remember what he wanted to do for me. Maybe he wanted to sell something to me. But being a woman, he thought complimenting me would help his position. But he complimented me the wrong way by asking me if the color of my eyes, if it's the real color of my eyes. I felt so insulted. Like, hey, I was just adjusting my clothes, looking for how am I going to respond to this guy. You want to sell something to me and you're asking if the color of my eyes is real or fake. Like, are we joking here? So because I was so irritated, I told him, I gave him a very terrible answer because I was pissed off. I'm like, bro, this is not how to sell. If you want to sell something to me, don't come to me and start asking me, how can you be asking a woman if that's the color of her real eyes? It's just like asking me if I'm wearing a fake bum bum. So please, let's not make those kind of mistakes. Sorry, we're almost done with the class. So this is just like conversations that people have. Big mess up that I just threw his message into the archive, never to be seen again, forever and ever. Like, lost. See, you have only one time to make an impression on your clients. I repeat, you have only one time to make an impression on your clients, so you must use that one time well. Some of those clients will never give you a second chance. I repeat, to make $1,000 for yourself, you have only one time to make an impression with your client. Some clients will never give you 2 chances to make an impression. If you are writing content, you have only 7 seconds to make an impression. If you are meeting somebody physically, you have only one time to make an impression. So you must be very, very careful when you are trying to make sales, when you're trying to close deals, whether you're a graphic designer, virtual assistant, medical doctor, a beautician, a makeup artist, a singer, a dancer, a teacher, AI specialist, whatever trade you are into or skill you are into, when you are trying to make money, when you are trying to close deals, when you are trying to pitch your services and products, never sell on the first day. Never sell on the first week. You must, yes, you have to be patient. Like me now, my products are expensive, so I have to be patient. Because when I make the money, I can relax for the next 3 months. Do you understand? So I have to be patient. One of my highest paying clients, I worked on her for 6 months. It took me 6 months to close the deal. So much back and forth. Do you understand? But now she's paying me. So the money she's paying me has made up for the 6 months of waiting. So you must be patient. To make this money, you must be patient. Especially if you are good at what you do. Trust me, the clients are out there. There are people online on YouTube. They are not monetized, but they are cashing out. There are people online on LinkedIn. They are cashing out. They are not better than you. I'm telling you that. They're not better than you. But having the skill alone is not enough. You need to follow the right strategy. Okay? So, yes, I think this class needs to come to an end. We'll be having, like, I go live now three times in a week. So if there's any topic you also want me to train you on in sales, public speaking, and personal branding, storytelling, I repeat, if there's any topic that you are having challenges with, maybe in starting your business, in selling your product, and selling your service, personal branding, how to position yourself, how to talk to clients and all that, please feel free after the class, drop it in the comment section, and I'll bring up a topic. I'll bring up a training curriculum for that, and we'll go live with it, and I'll teach you what to do and how to scale your business. So thank you very much for staying with me. God bless you. Love you guys. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Thank you so much for staying this long. Buchi, was a pleasure meeting you. Ogechi, thank you. Thank you so much, Buchi. Thank you for, I'm so happy you stumbled in on this. At least you've gained something. You've learned a lot of new things. And it was also a pleasure for me meeting you as well. Don't forget to send me a message on LinkedIn so that we can discuss further. And I can send you the link to my WhatsApp group so that you can join and learn more. And if you're just joining, don't forget to subscribe. I have other live classes on public speaking. I've been teaching people for how to speak in public and present in public, for interviews, job interviews, thesis projects. You know, I have the videos there, live sessions. Please, you can always watch them. There's so much of value and knowledge I have to share, but make sure you put on your notification bell so anytime we are going live, you will not miss this live session. And I remain your one and only Dr. Ish, sales queen, personal strategist, storyteller. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. I have other videos you can watch on how to speak in public, how to present, how to package yourself, and how to make money using your voice and the right strategy. So till we meet again for our next live session next week, Monday, take care of yourself, stay safe. I'd like to see you in the next class. Mwah. See you soon. Bye.